So at the beginning of September, we finally took my other cousin on an Adventure Archives trip. It was a great trip. After we got back, we found out that he had COVID. I did a test. I was very clearly positive on the test, even though it was a fairly faint line. That day, I sat on the couch doing nothing. I just sat there and I was like, well, this might be it for me. That day I felt tired like you would after any trip, so I wasn't too worried. The next day, I felt totally fine, tested negative. The day after that, totally fine, tested negative. The day after that, totally fine, tested negative. So that time I got away scot-free, despite having a very positive exposure and a positive test. Anyway, I actually got sick this past week and I tested positive, but that line was so faint that it's irrelevant whether it was COVID or not at this point. The point though, is whether it was COVID or not, when I get sick, I get so depressed and I have no energy to do anything. And it feels like it's never ending. Even though, especially this last time, it was very mild, whatever sickness I had. It lasted a week. And it was mostly just me being really tired and not wanting to do anything. But what's really annoying about that type of sickness is when it's not like you're sneezing and fevering and sweating, it feels like it's in my head sometimes. Which you'd think I'd trust myself at this point and be like, I can tell the difference between when it's in my head and when I'm actually sick. But the problem is that when I'm physically unwell, that affects my mental state. So it is in a sense in my head, but it's in my head because it's been caused by a physical ailment, even if the ailment doesn't seem like it's that bad. Like it feels like you should just be able to power through it, but you just can't. All you can do is sit there, and then you can barely muster the energy to play Cyberpunk. But then when you do muster the energy to play Cyberpunk, you're like, man, Cyberpunk's really good. I only paid $10 for this game. It is a shame that it had such a terrible launch. Good game. All that being said, I finally feel pretty good. I feel woefully behind in the stuff that I want to work on. So today, we're gonna take advantage of while I'm feeling good and do some of the stuff I want to do. Ring Fit Adventure. I forgot this game existed. Have any of you actually finished this game? Do you know how long it is? It's so long. I thought I was close to being finished and it was like, no, this is a whole life workout. You will be working out with this game for the rest of your life. I present to you the greatest t-shirt ever made. If you know what this is, you know what it is. If you don't, you're just like, that's a dumb looking shirt. Isn't it truly annoying when something just stops working? You haven't even touched it. This lens was working just fine when we were in Glacier National Park 3 weeks ago. I tried to use it yesterday and it just doesn't work. It just stopped working. It was just sitting on the shelf, minding its own business. Come on, man. This is a trait I didn't really realize I had because I always thought it was just like a side effect of school. When I was younger and I got sick and I stayed home from school, that really bothered me. I didn't want to miss a day of school, even though I hated school. I didn't want to go to school, but because it was an obligation, missing it felt like it just felt wrong. And now when I miss work that I want to work on, oh God, it just like burns. It's so hard for me to put that to the back of my mind when there's unfinished work to be done. It kills me. With that being said, we've only been home for a month, so we're not exactly behind. These things usually take us like 3 solid weeks, but enough's enough. I can't take this anymore. I'm finishing this. Have you ever been in such a bad mood that you literally couldn't sleep? That was me last night. Part of it is that I have not run In over 2 weeks, I need exercise so badly. Ugh! Let's go! Whew, not bad. Feeling better. I also really gotta get this haircut. I really wanted an episode where we all had ponytails. I can't do it. I can't do it. I cut it off for a reason. Oh, come on, man. Okay, good news, everyone. Some great progress on the episode today. I feel so much better. I gotta be more comfortable with things being unfinished. I'm usually fine with it as long as I can make some steady progress. It's those times when I'm not able to make progress on it that I really have to watch out for. Sickness, travel, there's all sorts of things that will put you behind schedule. T-pose! Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's vlog. Thank you very much for watching as always. We'll see you in the next one. Hopefully with shorter hair.
Does everyone know the difference between a mountain goat and a bighorn sheep? I didn't know until we saw some bighorn sheep and I tried to call them bighorn goats.
And they said, don't call me that.
You guys ready? How you feeling?
It says bear frequenting area, Oldman Lake.
So we'll be very bear safe and bear aware.
Yeah, we gotta make sure that we don't leave Andrew behind like we just did right now.
Man, during that car ride, part of me was like,